If you're someone who looks forward to that afternoon nap, that quiet hour after lunch when the house is calm and you finally get to rest your eyes, I need you to hear this before you lie down again. New research is showing that long afternoon naps may be quietly raising blood pressure in adults over 60, especially in women. Not the nap itself, exactly. It's about how long you're napping, and what that habit might be doing to your heart over time. Today, we're going to break down exactly what the research found, why this happens, and most importantly, how you can still enjoy a nap without putting your blood pressure at risk. Stick around, because the answer at the end might surprise you. Welcome back to Healthy After 60, the channel where we help you protect your health, your independence, and your peace of mind in the years after 60. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing. Every week we cover real, practical health topics for this stage of life: blood pressure, mobility, memory, medications, and more. No fear-mongering, just clear information you can actually use. Today's topic is napping. Specifically, the connection between long afternoon naps and hypertension, also known as high blood pressure. This is an important one because so many of us were taught that napping is simply a healthy, relaxing habit. And in some ways, it still can be. But the research tells a more layered story, and that's exactly what we're unpacking today. Why so many of us nap in the first place? Let's start with why afternoon napping is so common, especially after 60. There's actually a name for that sleepy feeling many of us get in the early afternoon. It's called the post-lunch dip. Your body has a natural circadian rhythm, and for most people, alertness naturally drops somewhere between 1 and 3 in the afternoon. This isn't a personal weakness or a sign that something's wrong with you, it's biology. On top of that, as we get older, several things can make daytime sleepiness more common. Nighttime sleep often becomes lighter and more fragmented, certain medications can cause drowsiness, some health conditions affect energy levels, and simply having a slower-paced day can make a nap feel more appealing. So when you feel that pull toward the couch or the recliner after lunch, that's a completely normal, biological response. The issue researchers have been looking at isn't that you feel sleepy, it's what happens when that nap stretches into a long one, especially 90 minutes or more. What the research actually found, here's where it gets interesting. Several large studies, mostly out of long-term population research in China involving thousands of middle-aged and older adults, looked specifically at midday napping and blood pressure over time. One major nationwide study followed over 5,700 adults aged 45 and older for several years. Researchers found that people who napped 90 minutes or more per day had a meaningfully higher risk of developing hypertension compared to people who didn't nap at all. Interestingly, the same study found something hopeful. When people who were long nappers shortened their naps over time, their hypertension risk actually went back down. That suggests this isn't necessarily permanent or irreversible, it's tied to ongoing habits. A separate large study looked at sex differences and found that extended afternoon naps, again, 90 minutes or longer, were linked to a noticeably higher risk of hypertension in women, and this connection was even stronger in older women specifically. Interestingly, the same link wasn't found to be statistically significant in men in that particular study, which tells us this may affect people differently depending on factors like sex, hormones, and overall health. Other research, including a large cross-sectional study of adults over 45, found that even moderate naps in the 30 to 60-minute range showed an association with higher odds of hypertension, and that body weight seemed to play a partial role in that relationship. So to summarize what multiple studies are pointing to, it's not the act of napping that's the concern. It's specifically longer naps, generally 90 minutes or more, that show the strongest and most consistent link to higher blood pressure risk, particularly in older adults and especially in women. Why might this be happening? The possible mechanisms. Now you might be wondering, why would a nap raise blood pressure? Doesn't rest usually lower stress on the body? Researchers are still studying the exact mechanism, but there are a few leading theories worth understanding. First, long daytime naps can disrupt your nighttime sleep cycle. If you sleep for 90 minutes or more in the afternoon, you may find it harder to fall asleep at night, or your nighttime sleep becomes lighter and less restorative. And we already know from separate research that both too little and too much nighttime sleep are linked to higher blood pressure. So a long nap may be indirectly working against your night sleep quality. Second, extended napping has been associated with lower overall physical activity during the day. If you're asleep for an hour and a half in the afternoon, that's time you're not moving, walking, or being active, and reduced activity is a known contributor to higher blood pressure over time. Third, some researchers point to body weight as a partial explanation. A few studies found that body mass index played a measurable role in the relationship between long naps and hypertension, suggesting that napping, weight, and blood pressure may all be connected in a more complex web rather than one simple cause and effect. And finally, waking up from a long, deep nap can sometimes briefly disrupt your body's normal blood pressure regulation, especially if you wake up groggy or get up too quickly, something researchers refer to as sleep inertia. The honest answer is, scientists don't have one single confirmed explanation yet. But these are the leading theories, and they all point to the same practical takeaway: nap duration matters more than the nap itself. But wait, napping isn't all bad before you decide to give up naps completely. Let's add some important balance here, because the research is not saying, never nap again. Shorter naps, generally under 30 minutes, have not shown the same strong association with hypertension risk in most studies. In fact, short naps have been linked in other research to benefits like improved alertness, better mood, and even some cognitive benefits, particularly for memory and focus. So this isn't a story about naps being the enemy. It's a story about duration. A 20 to 30-minute nap appears to give you many of the restorative benefits: reduced sleepiness, better focus for the rest of your day, without the same blood pressure concerns that come with napping for an hour and a half or more. Think of it the same way we think about so many things in health after 60, it's rarely about cutting something out entirely. It's about finding the version of the habit that supports your body instead of working against it. How to nap smarter, not longer. Let's make this useful. Here are some practical steps if you enjoy your afternoon rest and want to keep it heart healthy. Keep your nap to 20 to 30 minutes. Setting a timer can help. It's easy to drift past that window without realizing it. Nap earlier in the afternoon rather than later. Napping too close to evening can interfere with your nighttime sleep, which compounds the problem. Pay attention to why you're so tired in the first place. If you find yourself needing long naps every single day, it may be worth mentioning to your doctor. It can sometimes be linked to medication side effects, sleep apnea, or other conditions worth checking. Stay physically active earlier in the day. A short walk after breakfast or lunch can actually reduce the urge for an extended nap later on. And finally, if you do have an existing blood pressure concern, keep monitoring it regularly at home, regardless of your napping habits, so you have real data on what's working for your body specifically. So here's the bottom line: your afternoon nap isn't something to fear, but if you're consistently napping 90 minutes or more, especially as a woman over 60, it's worth paying attention to, both for your blood pressure and your overall sleep health. And if you want a deeper, easy-to-follow guide on nutrition choices that support healthy aging, including foods that naturally support healthy blood pressure, check out my ebook, Foods That Support Healthy Aging After 60, linked in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe to Healthy After 60, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest senior health tips. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy, stay active, and we'll see you in the next video.